Denim is in demand at Plato's Closet in West Ashley and North Charleston. Get cash on the spot for everything denim. Bring in your trendy and classic styles of gently used name brand denim. Get paid for your denim shorts, skirts, jackets, jeans, and more. We're looking for denim that is blue, black, or a bold color, and jeans in styles like mom jeans, bootcut, baggy, flared, and ripped. We want everything denim. Sell your denim for cash at Plato's Closet today. Plato's Closet, located in West Ashley on Sam Rittenberg Boulevard and North Charleston on Rivers Avenue.
This is a podcast from Minute Media.
Hashtag no music, no intro. Whoa. Whew, I'm tired, bro. Man. Hashtag Saints for the podcast. We're recording this from my hotel room in Mobile. Ryan and myself. Our first Senior Bowl experience. Today was the first practices of the Senior Bowl. It's been a week, man. It's been a week just experiencing everything for the first time, and kind of just bringing our listeners along for the ride.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, man. It was just a weird feeling being there at the Senior Bowl, like doing football activities, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, the fuck, man? How the fuck did we get here? You know? So it was dope, man. It was dope just getting the eyes on the prospects, just seeing football players, like,
right.
These fucking athletes, bro. Like, damn, just looking at it like, man, these are like world-class athletes we looking at today, you know? So it was just dope seeing them out there compete, man. You just want to root for all of them. You just want all of them to make it to the NFL. Like, you know
and succeed. Yeah. You said it perfectly, man. Just us being in the spot. So before we even go on, like, even more, like, I just want to give some shout outs. Like, it's Monday when we went and picked up our media credentials that have around my neck, take it off right now. You know, I know where I've come from, just, you know, football and, you know, podcasting. So I want to give shout out to my girl, Jay, who's always, like, supported me. Like, she doesn't really, I work a very strenuous full-time job, then to come home and then still make time for this. So, like, she never trips on it. Like, much love to my girl who always supports me. Much love to, like, this goes back when I was doing, like, a podcast with, like, Nick and everything, but, like, much love goes to Nicole, one of my really good friends. She's been supporting me literally since day one. Just to, like, pick up, like, credentials with our names on it for, like, the Senior Bowl was a surreal moment.
It really was.
And I was like, shit. I was like, did they revoke them already? Like,
right.
You know, but to meet people, meet Dylan, meet Maddie,
yeah.
John Hendricks, had drinks with him, hang out with him, Ross Jackson, you know, just being kind of in part of that circle. It's crazy, man. It just really is crazy.
It's crazy, man. You know, I know some people probably, it's just a Senior Bowl, big deal, but you gotta understand, like me, Adam, like, we old school draft nicks. Like, we come up on the draft countdown or whatever website we could find just to see what tidbits you could see about
Saints report,
late round draft pick that's coming out of SMU to see how he looked at a Senior Bowl practice. Like, this is our life years ago. So to be here and to be one of the people that's feeding other young draft picks, that
crazy, bro.
Like, it's just fucking mind blowing.
Because I would send messages or, like, hit up Scott when he had draft countdown, like, you know, how is such and such looking, or just, it's just crazy, man. It's wild. So before we get into, like, the Senior Bowl stuff, there's been so much that's happened just in the world of NFL, so much in the NFL just in general. Let's quickly hit on those things, then we'll dive into the Senior Bowl. Let's start with Tom Brady. Right. So our last episode, he hadn't retired. Then the news comes out that he retired. Then there was this back and forth. Officially retires today, leaves the Bucks. He wins the Super Bowl with the Bucks in 1 and 2 seasons. But if you really start looking at him, like, the team, the Buccaneers, like their team is in shambles right now.
And it was tweeting through it today. Tampa Bay fans, we built a good roster. We're good to go. We're building something here. Like, boy, y'all better just be happy. Look, hey, it worked. Like,
it worked.
You know what I'm saying? You did it. You took the gamble. It worked. You got a Super Bowl out of the deal. Just be happy with it and fucking hold on to that shit.
Also, speaking for Bucs fans, y'all should really thank Drew Brees. Can we just be real? just thank Drew Brees, because if Drew don't come back, he don't go to Tampa. Like it's that simple.
That's simple.
Just what, and I know you've been just been annoyed with just Tom, bro. Just wanted him to just go away.
I don't really have nothing nice to say right now, bro. Like, but I will say this: as time goes by, eventually we'll be able to appreciate. I know I'll be able to appreciate what he did, because what he did was fucking amazing, bro.
Unreal.
You can't take it away. I don't care about Belichick and all that, blah blah blah. You can't take it away from the motherfucker. It was an assassin, bro. And as we see how hard it is to get to the Super Bowl. Hard, bro.
With the 10, bro.
With the 10 and one with another team. So it's like, hats off, man. He can go. There's no question about it. But I need him to just go away for a good 5 to 6, 5 years. The yellow jacket waiting on him. The yellow jacket is fitted for him, sitting in the closet waiting on him. 5 years, yellow jacket. He's gonna be in the Hall of Fame. Then I'll probably be able to process and be like, yeah, man, I lived through the Tom Brady era. That shit was dope. But right now, bye, bitch.
I said this a little jokingly with the whole Daniel Jeremiah tweet that he said about the Saints. Like, shouldn't he be saying the same thing about the Bucs right now?
Absolutely.
Like, there's some veterans. There's veterans that they should start trading.
Bruh.
I'm just saying. Haven't seen DJ at the Senior Bowl, but
I was looking for him. I was going to bum his ass.
Just like us when we was getting our credentials, we saw Jeff Duncan in the lobby.
Big bowel head motherfucker. That motherfucker head is big.
He also doesn't do himself any favors with how he styles his hair.
Yeah, he does that little flip up thing like Sean Payton used to do.
Shout out to Amy Just. We were all, we're hanging out in the lobby. She, everything's cool. And then she sees my credentials. She realizes who I am. She reads my name. And she does the Bart, the Homer Simpson into the bushes thing, where Homer just back up. Oh, memories, man, memories. So let's pivot and talk about the news that broke today. While we were at the Senior Bowl, bro, we was in the practice, and boom, Brian Flores, he's suing the NFL, he's suing the Giants, he's suing the Broncos. Bro, those are, the Broncos interviewed him in 2019. The Giants interviewed, the Saints ain't careful, bro.
Yeah. You might end up on that list.
On the summer jam screen. Well, just basically what the lawsuit is just for him, for the Broncos. He was saying he's alleging that the interview process of him being a legitimate candidate was a sham. When he was the head coach of the Dolphins, how Stephen Ross, for the 2019 season, I believe it was, offered him $100,000 per game to basically just take a nosedive and to lose games, because Stephen Ross valued wanting a higher draft pick.
I don't even really know how to process it, man. What's the goal of this lawsuit? To end bias in hiring process, or did he just want to go off? He just wanted to just set fire to that motherfucker and just let it burn.
Watch it burn. Because he probably is never going to coach again in the NFL.
No, man. Like there are things the NFL looks past, but like lawsuits and then trying to drag like the NFL name around. Like we saw that with Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Just with what he did. And that's a player that has like the NFLPA union and all that.
Right.
Coaches ain't got none of that shit.
Nothing.
None of that. They just blackball you. You're done. You know what I'm saying? So like for him to do that, it's like, bro, it must have been on your mind, man.
The funniest thing, one of the funniest things was the text message exchange.
Oh man,
where Bill Belichick sends Brian Dable a congratulatory text.
Hey, Brian, good get on the Giants job. You know? And this was before
Brian Flores even interviewed.
So Flores is like, huh? Thanks, Bill. I appreciate it, but you know I don't interview for you tomorrow. And he was like, "You sure you talking to Brian Debo or Brian Flores?" He was like, my bad, I fucked up. That's probably what set fucking Flores off. That
would have made me furious, man.
So they already know they hiring Debo, but you just bring me up.
Dog and Pony Show.
Dog and fucking Pony Show.
That's it.
And we know it's like that's the thing. He's revealing something that we all know. Everybody knows. We see it every year.
Bro, we said it about the Saints when they brought Aaron Glenn, bro. We were like, oh, okay.
Now it has to be two, so okay, now you got the two check boxes or whatever. It's like, okay, we get it. You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate that it's like that, you know what I'm saying? Because there's no trust there.
None.
Trust. We don't believe that you're doing this in good faith. So even though the rule is there and it does have some value, without the lack of trust and that, the integrity, if the integrity not there, it don't matter. You can have 1,000 running rules. You know what I'm saying? But there's no integrity there. So.
There isn't. And something that I'm seeing as a result from all this is all these white people who are NFL media who are just what Brian Dable's doing, or Brian Flores doing is so courageous and blah. And I'm just like, y'all peddle the shit for the NFL.
Hello.
Y'all are part of this system that is broken in the hiring process in the NFL.
Yeah.
So
they push those names like they are
boom,
part of the political movement when a coach is trying to get hired. It's all politics, it's all internal.
That's it.
Pushing names, doing a favor for agent. Hey, put this name out there. That he's a hot candidate for this job and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a real hiring process.
No.
They actually look at the qualifications and all that shit. That's good. Raheem Morris would be a head coach again.
Eric Benny, the amount
interview. I don't know what the fuck he doing. I want to interview him personally. Like, why are you fucking not getting these jobs, bro?
Let me put it in another context, right? So what's a little rumor? I wouldn't say it's a rumor because they were rumored to do this last season, right? That the Texans potentially want to hire Josh McCown as an NFL head coach. As an NFL head coach.
Now,
he has not one iota of coaching experience.
None.
But I've seen retweets from Mortensen and Phil Yates.
God, just such a great guy.
And I'm just their tweets about Brian Flores is just so courageous and blah blah. I'm like, what were y'all saying when this was going on? Where were the tweets when this was going on, but no one put the spotlight to it?
Right.
There wasn't shit. But it's going to be interesting, man. So I think if you're a Saints fan, if you're hoping for Brian Flores to become the head coach of the Saints, you can go ahead and just cross his name right off the fucking list.
It's done. It's not it.
But a tweet that is fucking gained a lot of fucking momentum, bro. I tweeted it at the Senior Bowl. Flores was meeting with Mickey last night. He was like, give me 2 New York porterhouses, bottles of wine.
Slice of bacon, and all kinds of shit. Dessert, coffee.
Y'all want some Kahlua? Knowing that the lawsuit news was dropping the next day, bro. one more thing before we get into the Senior Bowl and the experience. That Sean Payton thing, the newspaper article he took out, he meet you guys on neutral ground. Why did that annoy me so much?
Me too, man.
Like it bothered me.
It just is. I tweeted right after I said it. I was like, I'm done with Sean Payton. Like, turn the page.
Just go away. Go away. Like I don't even know what that statement means on neutral ground. Like I will say this, since this also came out since our last episode we recorded, the Doug Peterson interview with the Saints. You know, he's having a second interview with the Jags, and they're a fucking debacle of an organization. We talked about how he was on my list of people that really wanted the Saints to bring in because, to put it succinctly, he brings a lot of elements of Sean, but he's also not Sean, which I think would be good for the current culture of the team, all that. And then it gets like, and we were just talking football, bro. Just minds. I seen, shout out to the dude Brian on Twitter. You know, he had kind of put it out there, and then I saw Brian talk about it. I was like, damn, like Doug Peterson would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like he checks a lot of boxes, and then he interviews, and I don't know where it's gonna go. I don't know if he's gonna get a second interview. It seems like Doug is kind of desperate to get a coaching job, which it wouldn't. And to be I'll say this: if he went to Jacksonville, I would understand it because he would do wonders for Trevor Lawrence.
Well, his star fell quick, though.
It did.
Like, he was at the top of the mountain. He brought the Eagles to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, man.
Wrote a book, the whole media circuit. And then the year after that, things a little rocky. The year after that, then the Carson Wentz just Carson Wentz. And it was downhill for them, man. So his star fell really, really quick.
Yeah.
He's definitely one of the coaches that you can see having a rebound.
Yeah.
He was expansive. He was open to a lot of things. The RPO game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how involved he was with drafting Jalen Hurts or what his thoughts were.
I think that was a pure George Flores move.
Yeah. So, I'm just curious. Interviewing him, I would be curious about things like that, about how he looks at the QB position.
It seems like he has an eye for offensive talent.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as a team right now that is starving for any little morsel of offensive talent, like he is like that bright, shiny, like, like he could kind of maybe turn things around.
Right.
Okay, so let's get into this Senior Bowl. We're worn out, guys. We tired. I attended the introductory presser this morning where Jim Nagy comes out, he introduces himself, and then there was two players from each team. Pittsburgh quarterback Kenny Pickett came to the podium. Then it was the defensive lineman from Alabama, Fidorius Mathis was next, and getting back a little bit to like the Brian Flores thing, but it's on that same strand. It was so telling to me. I walk in, it was in the ballroom at the convention center in Mobile. I walk in, and just the amount or lack thereof of like minorities and women in that room was just a stark, like, this is what it is. Like I'm saying all, but vast majority, like older white dudes. And I was like, man, I don't know if me and you are going to be able to do this because obviously this is not our full-time job. We have full-time jobs. We have full-time careers. But part of me just wants to just turn the table over, man.
Yeah.
And just change the game.
Yeah.
because it was just walking in. I was just like, God damn, like this is what it is, huh? Like this is really what it's about.
Which is just crazy when you think about the NFL,
man.
And who's in the football? You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy.
It is. But speaking on football things, I actually got a chance to ask Kenny Pickett a question, and my question to him was basically him being an older quarterback is usually is used as a knock against him as a negative. But I said, how can you how is that to your advantage? Because if you're a draft Nick, you listen to enough people, oh, he's older, he's not as young. That was a knock against Joe Burrow. Same thing. It's just like the hand size, same thing. But he had a really, really smart answer, and basically what he said was, because he is a little older, he's a senior, he's seen different coverages. He's had numerous snaps. He's played in different games. So if anything, like he's better prepared to start in the NFL or, have success in the NFL because he's not raw. He's not, he's had which is crazy because Trey Lance didn't throw many passes at all last year, bro. But he gets drafted top 3 overall. And the consensus, if you look to big draft people, is just this quarterback, this draft class doesn't have good quarterbacks in it.
Yeah. It's just the fact he's older, so they look at it as he's kind of reached his peak.
Correct.
So he doesn't have much room to grow. But it's like, I looked at him, and you look at his tape, and you watch him today, it's like, his peak is pretty good. Like, if this is his peak, other than, learning the NFL game and stuff like that, it's like, this is pretty good right here. You know what I'm saying? If you look at Joe Burrow, he wasn't the most athletic freak or nothing like that. But, his age did help him because he just experienced through experience.
Yeah, man.
I don't even understand the knock. It's like, it's like saying you have too much experience. It's like, what? Some jobs.
Yeah.
Well, you're a little overqualified.
How does that make any sense?
No damn sense. But so, I don't know. People acting like he's who's the dude that went to the Browns? Brandon
Wheaton.
Brandon Wheaton. He was 28,
bro. Grown ass
man with shitty teeth. That's that. Come on now. 24. Let's relax.
He, whoever he's done his media training with prepared him very well. Phil Mathis had he was more kind of cutting it up, letting it loose. A good question that was brought up for him is just how do you, you're going against college offensive linemen. What are you doing to prepare yourself to go against NFL linemen? He says he's working out, he's studying tape, and he kind of comes in that Alabama lineage of defensive linemen. Payne, Robinson, there's a ton of them. Quinn Williams, Baltimore, who had a great rookie season for the Pats last year. They just have this lineage of defensive linemen that Nick Saban just produces every year. But let's stay with Kenny Pickett. Let's get to the actual practices that we attended. What are we're just going to copy freeform. What are some things that just jumped out to you just watching the practice today?
Overall,
overall.
Oh, it just how the players, look to be just kind of getting into it, like straight to work, you know what I'm saying? It was impressive. It was impressive just to see everybody out there just working, man, just going at it. Nobody was no fin or nothing like that, man. Everybody taking it seriously, it's a real job interview for them. So it was impressive to see. I focused more on quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I don't think I looked. Only time I looked at defense is when it was D lineman versus O-line.
Yeah.
Because man, we need offense, bro. So I'm just looking at it, focusing on offense, man. So I really looked at the quarterbacks. It was nice to see them, man, because I think people knocking this quarterback class a little too hard. is like it's garbage. I don't think. It's garbage.
Like this, they just treat
like they don't have no there's no Trevor Lawrence or nothing.
No, they don't. They don't
have nothing like that. But it's not like a shit class, man.
What was the class that Daniel Jones, Dwayne Haskins draft class?
Was that Baker Mayfield draft?
No.
Daniel Jones draft?
Was it? But I feel like now we gotta look. Now we gotta look it up. This is terrible podcasting.
It was 2000.
So the Daniel Jones draft was the 2019 draft. I don't think that was the Baker draft though. Oh, it's Kyler
Murray. I always forget the Kyler Murray draft.
Yeah. So Kyler obviously stood out.
Yeah.
But even then, he was a unique first.
He was weird
because of his height, right?
Yeah. And he was picked. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like a marriage.
Yes.
Happened with him.
But yeah, the Daniel Jones and where did Dwayne Haskins? Haskins goes 15th, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that neither Daniel Jones nor Haskins are better prospects than Pickett and Willis in this draft. So, whatever. What did you like from the quarterbacks that we saw? So we saw Kenny Pickett today. We saw Malik Willis, Sam Howell, Carson Strong. I can't even think of the other guy we saw from Western Kentucky. But what are some things you like from what you saw from the quarterbacks, or something that concerned you?
Overall, I thought Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett just had the overall just solid. You'll pretty much see what you get with him.
Yes.
Man. Just solid overall, just does everything just about right.
He's polished.
Just polished, man. The ball comes out right. You know what I'm saying? He's accurate. He moves well, even though he's not a super athlete, but he moves well. Nice little explosion to him when he snaps the ball and stuff like that. So you just look at him, you go I can see this dude just playing in the NFL. I can just see it.
Okay, so here's a question for you. What separates, and I think I've watched enough. I don't know if you have yet.
I haven't watched much.
But just from what you've seen, what separates him from Mac Jones last year?
That's the thing. It's not a lot.
Right?
It's the same vibe I get watching Mac Jones. It's just I watch Mac Jones in a better surrounding talent.
Right.
So, that colors your projection of what you could get out of him.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
But I will say something. Obviously, Kenny Pickett is a hell of a lot more athletic than Mac Jones.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I think he has a slightly better arm, too.
Yes.
So, yeah, man, if you like Mac Jones, you should like Kenny Pickett. I put it like that.
I think that's right on the money.
Right, and I like Mac Jones.
We both did.
We were fine with the Saints draft.
We both were.
Right, so as far as the Saints goes, I don't know. We don't know about. We ain't got no coach right now. We don't even
No coach.
But if you brought in, say, Doug Peterson, I think that'll be a fine marriage. Doug Peterson and Kenny Pickett. I think it'd work.
Could you imagine a Doug Peterson and Malik Willis?
Now that's something I'm interested in. That's moving on to the next quarterback.
Listen, so I tweeted it. Malik Willis was my quarterback one, and something that in draft scouting that you have to be worried of is when you kind of have that ideal in your mind, you don't want to go in watching a player with a bias of in your mind he's already he's your quarterback one, so you're not going to knock him for the bad thing, right? So I tried to be very mindful of that when I was watching Malik Willis today, and I don't care what anyone says, man. There's just something innately he just has this infectious swag.
Yeah.
I noticed. Just little things, man. And I think especially with players, they gravitate to that.
You can see it.
And I don't know what people bring up about he throws the ball so effortlessly, bro.
Yes.
Like I was just watching them just warming up, and it was just like all out, boom, boom, boom. He had some obviously, and the big thing is, the accuracy. He did miss some in like 7-on-7. It was kind of hard to tell if it was a bad throw or if it was like the wide receiver not running the right route. But there's 2 plays today that kind of like just stood out to me in regards to Malik Willis. This was when they went full. Malik was the quarterback. What team is Malik on?
He's on the American.
So he's on the American team. So they're going against the national team. The American offensive line versus the national defensive line, like that is not a matchup. Like the national defensive line was just overwhelming the offensive line that was protecting Malik. So play snaps, offensive line breaks down in like a second. And because of that athleticism that he has, he's able to roll out, kind of like a sprint, roll out as pressure was coming to his right and throw it and find his tight end down the field for a gain. And like, that's just what separates him. Yeah. It's just that off script play that he can bring when, there's maybe not perfect protection.
Yeah.
And then the other play he made was when he threw to your guy that you liked, Danny Gray. He threw this out route. Mm-hmm. It was to the left hash of the field.
Yeah.
And the defender who was defending the receiver, Gray, was in perfect position. And the rope that Malik Willis put it on and Danny Gray made a great catch. Just a great catch inbounds. I was like,
well, these boys compete, bro.
I've seen enough, bro. I've seen enough. Like, so I think there is a gap, and I don't know how big the gap is, but I think there is a gap between Malik Willis to Kenny Pickett. Mm-hmm. But in terms of let's assume the Saints continue to have the 18th overall pick, they don't trade it for a quarterback or they don't trade it for whoever and stay at 18. It's just hard for me to think that they will both be available at 18 when the Saints get on the board.
Just look at that. Daniel Haskins went
15. He went 15.
Daniel Haskins.
That's the same place that Mac Jones went last year.
Yeah. So it's like it seems to be that the Saints will have to do some kind of trade up. Not a big trade up to like the top 5 or top 10, but if they like Pickett or Willis,
they got to go up.
He starts getting down to 11, and
yeah. So what will it look like? So we got Atlanta at 8, Denver at 9. So obviously this is all pre-free agency, pre-trades, right? So we got the Falcons at 8, you got the Broncos at 9, the Washington football team at 11, Minnesota at 12.
All right.
Like
that's the hot spots.
Those are the hot spots, right? Or sorry, then you got Carolina at 6. I wouldn't be super shocked to see Carolina trade or to draft one of them at 6 or third base.
Yeah.
I don't see Jacksonville, Detroit, or Houston investing in either one of them that high. But in terms of quarterback places, it starts at 6. You go 6, 8, 9, and then 11 and 12 for sure. Like that, like those spots. So if the Saints, like if Malik and Pickett are still on the board, once they get past 9, they gotta call up the Jets at 10, bro. They gotta call up the Jets at 10 and see what it would take to move up 8 spots. And I don't know what that would take. I don't know what it would take.
It's gonna be another first.
You think it would take a first to move up 8 spots?
I think it will, man.
8?
It will, man.
Who?
Maybe not.
I don't think 8 spots would, because the Bears jumped from like the 20s to 11 or 10 or 11 to get Justin Fields, and that gave him a future first. 8 to 10, I don't think it's gonna take 8 or a first. It'll take their second, this year, and probably a second. I think a second this year and a second next year, would fix it. And then it goes to okay, we're not going to talk about the draft or debate. So anything else? I know you watch some Carson Strong. You liked his arm. You got to see his arm in person. Like, what's your thoughts on Nevada quarterback Carson Strong?
I still like his arm. I like the way he throws. He had a couple of dead deep balls today because he throws his deep balls are like these real art like Russell Wilson type rainbows, and they like two of them hit that rainbow and they just died. It's like somebody shot him. Clear. So other than that, like it's intermediate throws, he throws some dust, man. It to the point where I just laugh. Like some of the throws, it's like, man, this dude got a hose.
He does. A hose, man.
But man, I mean, that dude, even on rollouts, bro, it's like slow, man. Like you would have to build like one of the greatest offensive lines ever for this dude. Like, and look, man, you could be you could still win today as a quarterback. It's like a stationary quarterback. You see, but it's very extreme. Like Tom Brady, as Tom Brady does it. Drew Brees did it to a certain extent. So you can still do it, but man.
But with both of them, right? They had elite pocket presence
and feel for the pocket, yeah.
And if you're a statue and you don't have that, you're done.
And that's the words we've been. When I watched this tape, I was like, man, his pocket presence is like, I don't know, But I just find him interesting because I just want to see. I'm just curious to see where he kind of goes in the draft. Because he's just such an old school type of player.
Right.
But I wouldn't put him high on the Saints list. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I wouldn't knock him. Like, if the Saints took him like a second or third round or something like that, it would be bad. But, man, he don't leave you wanting some things as far as, like, pocket presence and maneuverability. And maybe he can improve in those areas. But like I said, he has a nice arm. I think he's gonna find himself in somebody's offense, and to shock some people too, like David Mills.
It's funny. I was thinking his career arc could be similar to David Mills. Obviously, they're two completely different.
Well, he gets drafted, nobody's thinking like, then he starts some games like, dang, this is no throw. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Man, I watched like 3 games of Davis Mills last year because when the Saints started getting tied to him a little bit, and I watched 3 games. I was like, oh, he can play. Yeah. Like his tape was very good, like immediately.
I think I remember you saying that.
Someone I think I came into not having a good feel for, not much of a feel for at all in terms of the quarterbacks was Sam Howell at North Carolina, and just watching him today, like I think he's a fine quarterback prospect. Yeah. Like he's similar to a degree to Kenny Pickett and kind of how they're polished. He's not as athletic as Kenny Pickett, nor is he as big because he's 6 foot. But if the Saints hypothetically were to draft like a wide receiver in first round, and in the second round, they wanted to draft like Sam Howell. I just think I saw enough of him just from like one practice to be like, I would understand the vision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would. Kind of remind me of Baker. I don't know if it's just because it kind of looks like Baker Mayfield a little bit. Just the
same height.
Same height.
Yeah.
Kind of just the same look. That little kind of, I don't know.
I think he has a better. I don't know. Maybe it's a recency bias or like recent Baker, but. Man, I think his arm looks a little better than Baker's.
Mm-hmm. He looked good, man. Like I had no thoughts of Sam Howell at all coming in. I just was like, North Carolina. He just kind of,
because that was Mitch's school.
Yeah, I was like, just another Mitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, but no, I was like, okay, this dude can fucking sling that motherfucker.
Yeah, he can.
So like, pretty much just about everybody. What's the kid from Cincinnati? Desmond
Riddler.
He was fine. Something lacking for me.
It's not there.
It's not there. It's something lacking for me there, man. I can't pinpoint what it is.
I can't either, man. I can't either. But like I didn't see it, and I can't quantify what it is. But like he looks like he would be a decent spot starter as a backup at most.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't come away wild or impressed by anything he did.
No.
You know, and again, that's me having like no bias whatsoever.
Right. I've seen some clips of his, and I saw the Alabama game, but I've seen him here and there. But just seeing him in person, I don't know, just wasn't sold on him. Again, it's one practice though, right? He could have had one day. I don't want to take one practice and just make these.
And they had maybe 6-7 throws in team.
Yep.
So it's like that's what we judge on.
Yeah, we got
the rest is like 7 on 7 or just
throwing against air.
Just throwing against air. So.
People were like, just tell us about the wide receivers and everything.
Man.
It was hard because bro, I was laser focused on quarterbacks, bro.
Yeah.
But there's one that caught your eye. Apparently he caught Tony Pauline's eye. Danny Gray. Where's he from?
SMU.
SMU. Tell me what you saw from.
Just like that catch we talked about earlier, him just going by competing. You just notice players that's really competing hard.
Yes, you do.
So it just stands out to you like, okay, this guy is around the ball, fighting for the ball, going to get it down, going down to the ground and catch the ball, going in the air, attacking the ball in the air. Just those little things you want to see from a wide receiver. He's 6'2", 198 from his measurements this week. So he's a slightly bigger wide receiver. Looked like he could run. I don't know what his speed is,
right?
But he looked like he can move pretty decently. I have no idea where he slotted to go in the draft. Could be like a mid-round pick or something like that. So it's just an interesting guy to look at. And this other kid, Braylon Sanders from Ole Miss, he was another kid that just kept standing out like that. I think he was like top 5 in like the NFL next gen stats, like speed today. Like he was running like 20-something miles an hour or whatever. And you can just see the quickness. Like, I know his last name is Sanders, so maybe that's just me being biased. It reminded me of Emmanuel Sanders a little bit, just the way he was moving. Just that type of player, like a player that can just get in and out of cuts real quick, make the sideline passes, make the downfield catches and all that shit. So it's just somebody, Saints fans just keep an eye on. It's not me saying we need to draft this guy at all costs. It's just, okay, these guys caught my eyes at one practice. I need to go back to the tape, pull up the little verses on YouTube and just see what they look like so I can get a better feel for who they are. Because, you never know. Like tomorrow at practice, somebody else going to step up and get your eye. You know what I'm saying?
I kept noticing UCLA tight end, 85, Greg Dulcich. He's 6'4", 250. He always seemed either to be able to find the hole in the zone when defense was running zone, or if there was a man coverage, he did a pretty good job at winning. But the biggest thing that stood out to me when I was watching him is when they were doing the running game drills. It's no offense, so there's no wide receivers on the field. It's literally offensive line, defensive line, quarterback, running back. It's a called run play. So everyone knows it's a run play.
Right.
And see this man, see this stuff? I look for cowboy boots one time, bro. One time I searched for cowboy boots.
Did, bro. Phone too, everything. Jesus.
But he looked good in the run game. Like his run blocking was very impressive for a tight end. I mean, he has the size, like he's 6'4", 250. He's a bigger dude.
But he had that want to.
Yeah. Yes. And I was watching him and I was like, I remember the Saints falling in love with Adam Troutman at the Senior Bowl, right? If you go back to that Jeff Ireland, like he did like a interview with like the Saints podcast, the official Saints podcast after that draft class. And what he brought up with Adam Troutman was Senior Bowl, seeing him block, that really kind of like got them going. Which is crazy, right? Because Adam Troutman was great at blocking his rookie season. It was like his best attribute. And like, I don't know what happened in his sophomore year with the Saints, man. He just regressed. But I don't want to compare him to Adam Troutman, but just like Ryan, I don't know Greg Dolch's draft ranges. I don't know what he's projected to go. Just a player that just stood out to me, man. Just stood out when I watched him. And a player that stood out to both of us was UCLA number 91.
Yeah.
Otito Obandia. I'm
Otito.
Otito, man. I tried, bro. I tried. This was when we were towards the end zone. We were watching O-line, D-line, and he embarrassed some offensive linemen 2 to 3 times, bro. Remember that the Gifting Friday where Smokey and Craig go, damn, like that was us.
Yeah. It's like, ooh. Yeah. He was bringing it. And is he a DN or a D-tackle?
He's 6'4", 320.
That's a DN, a D-tackle.
That's a tackle. Yeah.
Okay. Saints need I know we like defense, but if they go defense, D-tackle is a spot where they
it's needed, man.
They need it. You know what I'm saying? Because Tano, he's kind of up in age, coming off injury. We got Onyemata. That's pretty much it, man. Like the cover is really kind of bare.
They got a lot of guys. That's exactly what I was gonna say, bro.
Shout out to him. I think he's RFA, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds about right.
You got Malcolm Roach. He's a guy.
Just guys, man.
Yeah,
but he just Tito just stood out, kind of like in the plays that he made. And please, for the love of God, please, I'm not comparing him to this player, but he had, just because he kind of his center of gravity just being so low, he kind of like gotta have like some Geno Atkins.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Just in in those snaps that we saw. I'm pulling up an article on him right now. Chip Kelly says that the sky's the limit for him. Like he's good, man. I don't know where, again, I don't know what his draft range is, but he made some splash plays and he just dominated.
Yeah.
Some offensive linemen. Can we talk about the Minnesota right tackle? I can't remember it. People are just fawning over. I can't even think of his name right now. The 6'8" guy. Again, terrible podcasting. Daniel Falili. So we met with someone who's a Dolphins fan, good dude. Shout out to our dude, Dominic. He came from Florida, and he said he was a big fan of Daniel Falili, because he saw DJ had mocked him to the Dolphins. And it's funny, we were talking yesterday, and I told this to him, and I said, man, if you're 6'8", you can be big, but you can get beat real easy by an elite speed rusher. And we were really close to the end zone and in the bleachers watching him block, and he got beat like a drum numerous times.
Yeah.
Numerous times. It was not a
good on the ground.
Yes. It was not a good day for him.
No, it wasn't. And that, whatever that means, who knows? But it just goes to show you, like, being big don't mean everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure he's big and strong and can, like, throw people around. But, man, physics. It's like physics wins every time, bro. Like, so it was interesting. But yeah, those are my favorite drills, man. Like D lineman versus offensive lineman. Them just getting after it. The offensive line is going to lose at some point in those drills because it's just like, yes, they just getting attacked. It's just, bitch, we coming at you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
which is because I brought this up, right? I said I could see how, like, obviously a cornerback against a wide receiver in one-on-one, one-on-one drill, the receiver knows where the receiver's going to go. Cornerback doesn't know. That's just an immediate disadvantage, right? You would think for an offensive line, because it's no different than it is in the game, right? Like, the snap, fire off the ball, block the guy in front of you. But and again, this is not me saying he's a bad player, but the things we talked about yesterday of just having a player that big, like there are some ways that can get exploited real quick.
Leverage points.
Speaking of offensive linemen, I wanted to make mention this one guy on the offensive line because I think he's important. It's important because you never know with the Saints. He's an offensive lineman from he's a Raging Cajun, right? ULL. Number 73, David Hudson. Now he's 6 foot, so he might not even have a career in the NFL. Bro. Yeah. That's an offensive lineman. But I will say this. Like I was keeping an eye out when we were on the right side of the end zone, and this was when the Lions were coaching, and almost every snap he had, like he was stonewalling everybody.
It's interesting.
Everybody. Again, he's 6 foot, man.
Yeah.
You might be able to be a center at 6 foot in the NFL, but you're not gonna be a tackle. That's not gonna work out. But I just in the Saints, like if they draft offensive linemen, they gotta hit so many different marks.
Yeah, they got their prototype marks.
But I thought he was an interesting player. And then I didn't spend a whole lot of time looking at defensive players, but the cornerback from Clemson, Mario Goodrich. I noticed him stand out a few times, breaking on balls, and great coverage. I mean, that's really it that I had. You got anyone else that just stood out to you or anything?
No, I tried focusing on running back, but it's hard.
That's hard.
It's really hard without just being like live in the game because they all, just running against air or they just, get tackled for 2 yards or whatever. The blocking is subpar right now because the team trying to learn each other.
Right.
I saw Coach CJ, Saints wide receiver, Saints assistant offensive coach, but also like wide receiver coach, whatever. I saw him there going in, spoke to me. CJ, like CJ just be talking, bro. CJ just one of them cool cats, So I don't know who else from the Saints was there, but CJ there. So hopefully he's looking at the wide receivers,
please,
getting the scouting report. Because man, we need it, bro. Like we need it. We need like first round, second round, third round, all the rounds.
We do, and I don't know. I don't know if Mickey or Jeff Ireland will be there tomorrow at the media breakfast at 7 a.m. But I will be at the media breakfast tomorrow at 7 a.m. And if they are there, we got some questions. I'm glad I'm leaving tomorrow because, like, if I stay till Thursday, like my credentials might be revoked the day after. But we are hopeful to ask some legit questions that we as all Saints fans want to know. Yeah. And this is no shot at anyone who covers the Saints for a living, but there's some questions we got to ask, man. That hasn't been asked in the last couple of years, bro. We gonna put it to the forefront. I was gonna ask you one other thing. It slipped me. It just this whole experience has just been wild, man. You were behind him, I was in front of him. John Dorsey.
Yeah.
We were in the concession stand because we got super hungry. We was ordering hot dogs, and John Dorsey, former GM of the Chiefs, right? Yeah,
Chiefs
and Browns, right? Just standing behind me. He works with some capacity with the Lions now. He had an employee for the Lions. Was standing next to him. They're chit-chatting it up, and it was just funny because like the employee that John Dorsey was talking to was like, "Oh, I'm going to get the hot dog combo." He's like, "Oh, $9 for a combo. Oh, you big money, huh?"
Then he goes behind him. It was like 2 cheeseburgers.
Yeah, he sure did, bro.
It's just crazy, man, just seeing all these people that we just know from the NFL universe, the same Alt Brer just walking around. A lot of the local Saints beat people.
Yeah.
So it's just cool. Like, it's like, man, this is just weird. All these people we experience over Twitter and on TV and stuff like that. And they're all here. Like, just this little central little put on town.
Right.
It's just weird. Like a weird little multiverse weird.
It is. So the plan tomorrow, and I'm for sure going to be at the media breakfast, and that's kind of really the time to just, as if you're a part of the media, you're credentialed, you can, there's certain times where, people come out, but you can just kind of unload on them, man. Just ask them whatever you want. I plan to be there. I don't know if anyone from the Saints will be there, but I'll plan to be there. Ryan, if he can wake up in time, will be there. I have to leave tomorrow, though, and get back to the real world. So I'll be leaving. So I'm going to catch the first, I believe, probably the American team practice in the morning. And then after that, drive back to New Orleans and then hit my flight. But now that we've seen some players, now we can start looking at, okay, well, let me see some cut-ups of whoever.
Yeah.
And look at them a little more. And at the end of the day, I just want to, as we wrap up, just big shout out to our listeners, man. If it wasn't for our listeners, we wouldn't have been able to be approached by FanSided, Minute Media. If we weren't a part of Minute Media, we wouldn't be able to get credentialed to be at the freaking Senior Bowl. The fact that, a top prospect in this draft, a quarterback prospect in this draft, I was in the same room as him, got to ask him a good question. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So this episode, and if you're listening to this, or if you have access to it today on Tuesday, that means you are a Patreon because you are getting the early access to it. Everyone else is just going to get it Wednesday morning. But if you're a Patreon, you're going to be able to get it tonight, Tuesday evening, and listen to it and get all the recaps and summaries of our impression at the Senior Bowl. People who have reached out, who wanted us to look at certain players, it's tough.
It is.
It's
tough because first you kind of see who they are. We're in good spots, but we got to thankfully add up on some binoculars. So I was up there like Sean Payton, wrong way and shit. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna be a little better tomorrow. Try to focus in on some other players and shit like that. But it was cool, man.
Yeah, it was cool. It was definitely an experience, even though towards the end it got cold as shit. But thanks for all our supporters. Thanks guys for supporting us, being with us for so long. Again, this is all because of you guys. So we appreciate y'all. And then we'll record tomorrow's, for everything that's happening tomorrow, we'll be recording that on Thursday because I'm traveling back tomorrow. So we'll record that Thursday. But with that, we're going to get out of here. Hopefully the Saints will have a coach hired soon. Because that's a question that we should just ask, man. It's just if you're at the Senior Bowl scouting players, but you don't have a head coach.
Yeah.
How does that even work?
Yeah.
How does that even work, man? I don't know, man.
Just got these roles that you already, prototypes that you already work.
That's on the list, bro. That's on the list for tomorrow. I'm bringing that up tomorrow. But that, we're out of here. Our first ever podcast being in the same place. First ever. But that, we're done. Enjoy it. If you have any questions, shoot us to us. We're out. Peace.
O'Reilly. You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people. O'Reilly.